in, everybody. We got another edition of the 4D Chess Dynasty Trade Show coming at you right now. That being said, as always, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and comment in there. Helps the algorithm, but I also really like interacting with you fine folks. I really like answering your questions on YouTube. It's kind of fun. I try to get to everyone, give you a response. And if you're listening on the podcast forum, rate, review, and make sure that you are getting notified every time Destination Debbie's dropping a podcast. That's very important. We got me, Adam, the Trade Show, the 4D Chess Show, Ike and Gene, and soon to be our boy JB with his analytical show. Wow. And then, obviously, the mainstays, our boys, Ray and Jay Rich. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, we still promote their stuff. Sign up on Prize Picks, use the code WAKEUP, get a 100% deposit match, and if you're a baseball fan or you just like making money, apparently Jay Rich is very good at picking Prize Picks at baseball. I don't know how. I wish I fucking had Prize Picks at him, but I'd like to get some.
The name is very fitting. Jay Rich.
Jay Rich, man. They got that sounder in the Wake Up Show. Count that money,
Count that money, man. Count that money.
All right, that's enough pussyfooting around. Oh, one last thing. If you'd like to get your trades featured on this show, go sign up, patreon.com/South Harmony. Get you in our Discord, patreon.com/all gas. Get you part of the squad. Get you into Destination Debbie. So without further ado, boom, Adam, let's get in some damn trades. And you had the last 2 weeks of trades. I got to come back. McNutted, the tear down king.
Say no more.
I will kick it off here. So I acquired Trevor Lawrence, George Pickens, a 23 second, a 23 third, a 24 second, and in return I sent away DeAndre Hopkins, Nick Chubb, and Tua Tagovailoa. This is a super dumpster rebuild, failed contender that I had, so I'm pushing all the old guys. Get off my fucking team. Adam, how'd I do? I fucked this up, or you like it?
I like it for you, honestly. So here's the way I would look at this, right? You're going to go from Tua to Lawrence. What is that? 2 rounds, I would say?
Yeah, easily.
2 to 3 rounds and startup ADP right there. Okay. So you're net ahead there. I would say this. This is maybe hot takey, but for me, Nuke and Hop and Pickens on the rebuild and contender side, I think that's a fair deal. I think that's about fair for ADP. I don't know if it's exactly right based on current ADP since Nuke got suspended, but I think that makes sense, and that washes out for me too. So then you're telling me here's where you have to basically decide, does Nick Chubb for 2 seconds and a third offset the value you gain off of Trevor Lawrence and Tua? For me, in a rebuild, yeah, it does. Knowing that I got the jump from Tua to Lawrence, it does. Obviously, if you're selling Chubb straight up, you want more than 2 seconds. That being said, though, in this package, I think it makes sense for both sides, but I would prefer your side.
I would say for me, the way I thought about it, just how I broke it down for the listeners, the viewers there, Tua to Lawrence, like Adam said, there's a couple rounds difference. I think it should probably cost about a first to up tier in general. Maybe not a full first, maybe it's a late first, whatever. But it probably starts at a first. So if I just add a first onto my side, right, because I got that up tier, I traded away Nuke for Hopkins. And like you said, that's kind of a lateral move. And then that late first, generic first, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the extra that I got for the Tua to Lawrence move, I got 2 seconds and a third tacked onto it for Nick Chubb. And at that price on a rebuild, I'm good. I like Nick Chubb, but he's not doing me any favors on a rebuild. He needs to be off my squad. So I thought it was a good move for both teams, right? It didn't cost him an arm and a leg, and he kind of got to fit what he wanted. He gets a wide receiver for the second half push. He gets a nice, albeit older, running back for his contender push. And I don't know, Tua and Lawrence, man, if they score the same amount of points this year, no, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked. Or if one of them outscores the other, it's kind of whatever. I just believe in the talent more long-term, safer with Trevor Lawrence. So,
yeah, I think this is a deal. When you look at it, it makes sense for both sides. And everyone that's tuning in week and week out, we're starting to see that McNutted is, a man of the people, an honorable guy. Fair deals going on between him and other people. And I guess I'm the one that's the schmuck that you don't really want to trust. So we can move on knowing that this was a good deal for both sides. I like yours slightly more.
The swindler. All right. We got Derek Carr, Justin Jefferson, Antoine Pierce, because I'm done calling him Alec. It's Antoine from now on, and a 23 first
Man.
being acquired for Matt Ryan, Deshaun Watson, Cortland Sutton, Breece Hall, a 23 third, and a 23 fourth.
Okay.
A lot of big name pieces in this deal. This is a pull your pants up, like Nick Arcolano from Big Dog's Gotta Eat says, tuck your shirt in.
Tuck your shirt in, man. I love this. Stop yelling. Let's get into it. All right. So to try to simplify a crazy deal here. All right. What I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to just take these two picks at the end, the 23 third and the 23 fourth, and I'm going to kind of just remove them from the meat, right? We're gonna break this trade down with these 8 pieces that are involved other than those. Okay. So when I start looking at this, right, the crazy part about this, Mike, and I hate to say this, but Justin Jefferson is coming off the board in this deal as the first player off the board in startups, right?
Yes.
So Justin Jefferson's the cleared fire first round pick in startups. Interestingly enough, Deshaun Watson, all the craziness going on with him, you may have started to see him before, the 23rd and 24th girl came out. You may have seen him starting to creep back towards that first round. Now that's not going to be the case, even if ADP over the last couple of weeks says so. So you got Jefferson, who's a first. You got Breece Hall, who's clearly a second. Derek Carr's in that 4th, 5th range. Matt Ryan's in the 9th. Sutton's in the 8th. Pierce, I don't know if he's even charted. I'm going to guess he's like late teens.
Yeah.
I guess here's the thing, right? That 23 first is what kind of makes a big hinge on this deal for me. If I think that 23 first has a chance to be really good, I would be a little more inclined for that side. Man, though, I like Breece Hall quite a bit. Derek Carr to Matt Ryan's a bit of a tear down, but I'm looking at Watson and what happens there, and then Cortland Sutton. Like, I still think I might prefer the Mr. McGoogle 1, 2, 3 side.
Ooh, all right. So the way I looked at it when I saw it, I know you mentioned the Justin Jefferson, Breece Hall thing, like where they were going. I'm telling you, man, if I'm in a startup, I'm taking Breece Hall before I take Justin Jefferson.
As would
Straight up.
As would I.
10 times out of 10. I would do that every time. People may hate it. So in my opinion, the way I value things, Breece and Justin Jefferson, you can cancel those two out of the deal, right? We'll just knock them out easily. So if I look at it now as the next piece I want to do, the random 23 first for Cortland Sutton, Adam, I'd rather have Cortland Sutton.
Yep.
Now what we're left with is Watson and Matt Ryan, Derek Carr and Pierce.
Antoine Pierce. Give me that.
Give me the Watson, Matt Ryan side between those two. Like, I'd much rather have Watson over Carr, and Matt Ryan is what he is, but in a Superflex league, I'd rather have Matt Ryan than I would Pierce. Just how it is. So the third and the fourth or whatever, I'm not even considering that part. But
the interesting part, though, I think, is a lot of times when we get to deals like this where there's a couple, 2, 3, 4 pieces on a specific side that don't belong in the deal, that side ends up losing out. Here, they're just added fluff value.
Yeah.
To a winning side.
Yep. So I'm with you, man. The Mr. Mogul 1, 2, 3 side, I like that one better.
Yep.
I can see the other side, though, just the pushback because of the way people value Jefferson. It's just not for me, and I'm not going to bullshit you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give you how I feel on the deal, and that's how I feel. I'd rather have Breece Hall over Justin Jefferson.
And the last caveat, the only thing I could say that would make me consider switching this at all is if Mr. Mogul's side looks like this, but his team is really, really bad, and Watson's not going to maybe play, and you're looking at that 23 first being very chance to be early, then I would maybe have more of a conversation. But like as just a generic or a late, I want the other side every time.
I get it. All right, we'll move on to the next one. DK Metcalf and Jalen Hurts being acquired for Tua Tagovailoa, Antonio Gibson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got some big boy deals today.
Spicy. Thank you, Destination Devi, Dynasty Trade Show people, shithead traders. We'd like to have these. All right, Mike, when I think about this, right, I think Jalen Hurts is still the best player probably in the deal. I'm still a Gibson truther, but I think Hurts is going to be coming off the board first every time. And then the other thing about this that's interesting is Metcalf is probably the second player coming off the board in startups right now.
Yeah.
Even with all the uncertainty. Gibson, man, you and I are in on Gibson still amongst all the bullshit, right?
Jon Snow pulling the sword out.
Yeah, here I am. Come at me. He is now going a pick after David Montgomery in startups, Mike.
That's disgusting.
The fallout's real. So here's the thing. Let me just try to tackle this in this regard. All right. Based on market value for Gibson, I can really get behind and understand this deal, right? And especially if it's a lineup league, I would take the two players here. Amon-Ra for me is where this deal becomes very interesting, Mike. And I'm looking, he's in 808. If I'm looking in best ball, I think here's the issue though. You're looking at Jalen Hurts to Tua, and probably in points per game is a decent fall off. Even if Tua performs better with having Tyreek Hill there, right? And he takes a little bit of a step forward. Jalen Hurts projects to be a cheat code. It's a big difference. In best ball, I think this is pretty close. In lineup, though, I think I would actually, from market value standpoint, probably side with the Hurts and Metcalf side.
Yeah, as much as I hate to do it because I love Antonio Gibson and I like Tua and I like Amon-Ra, DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts, man. Like the market's telling you this is what it is, and if you're going by market value, like you said, the Metcalf Hurts side wins for me.
Yep.
I get the other side. It'd be tough for me, man. This is a trade that I could like make and be on the other side of it, and knowing that maybe I lost market value, but like I'm happy with it because I got my guys are the guys that I believe in. So
100%. And I think on the rebuild side, Mike, I would be very intrigued to take the other side, right? The lister side. If I'm rebuilding, you're going to give me Tua, Antonio Gibson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm strongly considering that.
I turn 2 assets into 3, and then I see what I can turn each one of those assets into and just keep multiplying from there.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Tua and Gibson and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm thinking all season long on the rebuild side, I'm going to try to see what I can pivot these guys into.
Hell of a deal, though. I like this one. This one caught my eye. All right. Chris Godwin, Rashad Penny, T. Higgins, a 23 first, and another 23 first. Being acquired for Allen Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, and Jonathan Taylor.
Yo, Mike,
yo,
where you find these deals at?
Man, these are the patrons, man. The patrons don't fuck around.
Patrons,
good stuff.
These are, man, they're coming correct this week, dude. This is wow. Okay, 223 first. Like, I think we're to the point here, Mike, too, where when I see more than 123 first in a deal, like automatically, you have to have like the eyes emoji, right? Like. At this point, where how hyped 23 first are, 223 first in a deal is eyes.
Yep.
T. Higgins. Gosh, this is a guy I want everywhere, Mike. Like T. Higgins is one of these guys I want every single place I can get him. He's actually going in the 3rd in startups, which is probably a little rich for me, but very good value. Rashad Penny to me is the one piece in this deal where like I'm not really that interested in it. Now, is it still valuable? Sure, but I think he's the piece that doesn't belong. We talked about this, man. Godwin, for me, on the contending side, I'm concerned. I know Nate List just came out with a video saying he's one of the screaming buys. So, there's conflicting reports here. However, Chris Godwin still is falling, I believe, into that 6th round startup. So there's a lot of value there. Now, let's get over to the other side because we know how much of truthers we're going to be for Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor is a guy that's going to command at least 3 firsts to get me considering, and maybe I'd want a second too. So, Taylor, Ayuk, who he's a buy for me personally. He's going in that 9th round, but I think he has a very good chance to exceed that with or without Deebo Samuel leaving. And then Allen Robinson's a guy, man, on the contending side, I'm very intrigued by him too. Once again, I think he's that 9th round. They're going like right back to back. So when I start breaking this deal down, man, okay, Jonathan Taylor, I need to carve out 3 firsts for him. let's even say, Mike, that I take the 23 first, those two, and I give Godwin. That's actually probably a little bit of a win on the package side, right? But I think that's about right.
That's fair, though, in my mind. That's how I did it, too.
So then I'm left with T. Higgins and Rashad Penny for Ayuk and Robinson. This is what's crazy, Mike, is like I'm all about downtiering at receiver, but here, man, I think I want Higgins over those two receivers probably. And then if there's Penny though, that's where I'm definitely on that side. I could see downtiering Higgins to those two receivers if you want the depth. Penny's not much for me, but I think he still moves for around a second in value. So, man, this is a good deal. I think for all the pieces, this is a pretty close and fair deal. If you force my hand, I think I would choose the plethora. But I could see on the contending side, if you're like, I want to go for it now and I want to get rid of these 23 first, I want to go get Taylor and Ayuk and Robinson, I can make the case there. I think if you force my hand, though, I'd take the package.
Okay. I want the Jonathan Taylor side. Me. You broke it down, the JT for the 2 first and the Chris Godwin. Cool. We're in agreement there. When I look at Allen Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, I'd rather have those two over T. Higgins for me. I'd rather have the 2 shots versus just the one. And I love T. If you remember the first ever trade show that I got on with the legend, Ray
Top
G,
five.
right?
Top five.
Yeah. T. Higgins is the top. I think I said
top
was
6.
He top 6, right?
Yeah,
I said top 6, and
yeah.
I got shit. And now people got him as the top 3 wide receiver. So, man, give me the Jonathan Taylor side. But I agree with you, man. On a rebuilder, I kind of like, give me the Godwin. I'll move Penny for whatever. Give me T. Higgins and give me the 2 first. On the contender side, the Robinson, the Ayuk, Taylor makes a hell of a lot of sense, and I like that side. It really is going to come down to where those 23 first are. That's
well, and that's the reason I think that for me, when I look at this deal, I basically remove whatever those names are because I know nothing about the league, and I look at them as ambiguous first that are mid and have a chance to be early. And as soon as I do that, I lean that side. That being said, though, like this is a deal I think that hinges on what you're doing, what your direction is, and I think based on the merit of the deal, this is really close. I think these deals so far have been really good deals so far that we're reviewing.
Props to both of these guys for a very well-constructed dynasty deal, right?
Love seeing these, man. Love it.
We like the fleeces every now and then, but I really appreciate a good, well-constructed deal where you're going, man, I can see it from both sides, and I really like this. So.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. When there's that many moving parts and that many different values, and it's that close, that's a deal that I really appreciate.
All right, next one we got Albert O, Cam Akers, 23 fourth, 24 fourth, being acquired for George Kittle, a 24 third, a 23 third, and a 24 third. Man, we got a lot of thirds in this deal.
I'm going to say this: we have this deal for everybody listening can't see. You may have heard a bunch of picks. You can just all the picks you heard, just forget about them. Okay. Let me tell you what this deal really is. It's Albert O and Cam Akers on one side for your boy Homer, who makes the trade show again, for George Kittle from Jet Set Poppy. Now, listen, I'm all about getting your, elite tight end and, basically a set it and forget it type. But you can fucking miss me with this. Like, you can fucking miss me with this. And I'll come out and I'll say it. Cam Akers I'm a truther. I'm way ahead of consensus. If you caught me last week on 4D, you probably saw that, I'm taking him in the second. Okay. Even if you're not as high as me on Cam Akers, what are we doing here? Like, I'm getting a free running back that has youth and potentially top 12 upside. Now, I'll give you this. Albert O is not George Kittle, and we don't know what it's going to be. But I think he has upside. I think he's a athletic tight end that's tied to a good quarterback that should be peppered with a decent amount of targets. I don't think he's going to compare to George Kittle on a points per game basis, but the drop off at tight end to secure a stud running back is an easy win for me, for your boy Homer.
Cam Akers over George Kittle, unless maybe it's a full
2 point.
Yeah, 2 point tight end premium, I guess.
Yeah.
Any of like the normal stuff that we play in tight end premium. Cam Akers over George Kittle for me pretty easily. So then, like, you get an Albert O for some thirds, right? Some thirds. Like, I don't care how. Put 7 of them in there. I don't give a fuck. Like, come on, man. I take that all day.
What's interesting about this deal too is the amount of thirds, and then also somehow Jet Set Poppy had your boy Homer's third to give back, and then to do it this way. Give me your boy Homer though, man. Let's stop pussyfooting around with this deal.
Yeah, Cam Akers, Alberto, easy. All right, Ryan Tannehill, Brandon Cooks, and Tyler Lockett being acquired from Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley, and a 23 second.
All right, so here we go, Mike. I'm gonna flip game back to you because I helped a certain shithead orchestrate and helped him finalize a deal that was kind of being discussed and back and forth. So I approve the deal on one side. So I'm curious to see how you break this down.
The most valuable piece in this deal for me in a Superflex league is going to be Ryan Tannehill. Even though ADP may not reflect that, but I'm sure like Mike Williams and Ryan Tannehill are pretty damn close in ADP. Tannehill's the most valuable piece, so we can just knock that out of the way. But anywhere I look at it, Tannehill over Mike Williams, or Tannehill over Ridley, or Tannehill over the 23 second. Let's say Tannehill over Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams is probably the second most piece in there.
Yeah, I would
agree. It may be Brandon Cooks, but I'll give it to Mike Williams. Okay, we'll give it to Mike Williams. Ryan Tannehill over Mike Williams. Cool. All right. Brandon Cooks over Calvin Ridley. Hell yes. And Tyler Lockett over a 23 second. If you wanted to make the argument for the 23 second, I won't fight you on that one. I prefer to – I'd kind of just rather have Tyler Lockett on any team I'm trying to compete with. And if you're acquiring Ryan Tannehill, Brandon Cooks, and Tyler Lockett, you're obviously trying to compete. You're not acquiring those guys on a rebuild. So Tyler Lockett over the 23 second, I'm in on. Give me the top side, the Tannehill, the Cooks, the Lockett over Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley, and the 23 second pretty easily for me. There's not a lot of ways I can manipulate it for the other side.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the way you broke that down was pretty good. I could make a lot of different ways to break this down, right, and piece them all together. I'll say this: the way the deal started and how it finished was basically Mike Williams was added in, and a second was dropped from like the initial discussion. So the way I looked at it was this: Ryan Tannehill is a win over a 23 second for me, period. Yes. Brandon Cooks is a win over Calvin Ridley, period. And then I would say Tyler Lockett versus Mike Williams is a loss by, I think, basically like an 8th to an 11th, right? Yeah. But I think the loss there is negligible based on what you're gaining. And here's the other thing, Mike, I think that sometimes we forget about is, listen, I guess Mike Williams with the contract tied to Justin Herbert is a piece in your lineup you like, but like wide receiver runs so deep. If I'm basically having to drop from Mike Williams to Tyler Lockett to acquire Ryan Tannehill for a second and Brandon Cooks for Calvin Ridley, there's no discussion for me. And so I think you could break this deal down a lot of different ways, but however you do it, like I think El Gancito wins out here.
Yeah, good job, El Gancito. I like that deal a lot. It's a good contender move, and it's a good way to kind of get out from Calvin Ridley and get something that's actually going to help you this year.
Right. Yep.
Good move. All right. These people keep trying me with Jamar Chase. Like,
we got to do it every week.
Every week, they just keep trying me. Okay. Jamar Chase and Antoine Pierce being acquired. Jamar Chase and Antoine Pierce being acquired for Alvin Kamara, Deebo Samuel, a 23 second, a 24 second, and a 24 third. Adam, Jamar Chase or the package of Kamara, Deebo, and some seconds?
So here's what I would say, Mike. If you're just talking, like if we break this down into the real meat parts, and I'll get into everything, but I think Antoine Pierce, as much as we love him, talk him up, hype him up. Him and the seconds and the third are a decent amount down from the big three pieces in this deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we just remove them for a second and think about the big three pieces, for me, you may call me crazy here. You may not agree with me, but I would rather have Alvin Kamara and Deebo Samuel than Jamar Chase. Okay.
100%.
So let's start there with where I'm at. Now, whether you're listening on podcast, driving, at home, whatever you're doing, you're watching on YouTube. If you don't agree with me there, fine. Just stick with me here. Okay. Now that Jamar Chase gets Antoine Pierce, but you're throwing me in 2 seconds for Antoine Pierce? I'll take 2 seconds. And then there's a third to add in. So, like, the small stuff is on the Deebo side. The big stuff, in my opinion, is on the Deebo side. So what are we talking about here?
If I look at it, I take the Pierce in the third, the 24 third, and I just kind of throw them to the side. Fine. Fair enough. Whatever. Good enough. So it's Chase for Kamara, Deebo in 2 seconds for me. Ew, man, give me the Deebo, Kamara in the 2 seconds pretty easily. And I might even do this for Deebo and Kamara. I'm not big on, like, as big as some people are about the Deebo hate. And I think we said it on a past episode. Like, I still like Deebo and I still like Kamara, even though there's some uncertainty about what's going on. But I'm looking at this year. Hell yeah. Give me the Kamara, give me the Deebo, and give me the seconds, and I'll go buy something else with the seconds. And now we're going to add a legitimate third piece to the deal that I just got for Jamar Chase. So if you think about it, Deebo costs more than a first, right? He costs more than a first to acquire, even with people hating him. Does Alvin Kamara cost a 23 first to acquire? Yes.
Yep.
Probably more.
I'd say a first and a second at least.
Adam, we're already at 2 firsts and some pluses. You take those pluses and add them to the seconds. Do you got enough for another first? Like, you're getting 3 firsts for Jamar Chase. And anytime I can get 3 firsts worth of value for Jamar Chase is not on my team anymore. That's just how I like to play it. But hey, another week, another Jamar Chase trade. We keep it coming. We got a more simple one for you.
I'm curious what the reviews are on that trade, though.
Yeah, we'll find out. More simple trade for you. Noah Fant being acquired for Dameon Pierce. Try not to cry. Simple, to the point. Has the Noah Fant hate really gone this far? Has it really gone this far? Tight end premium, non-tight end premium. I don't give a shit. Why are we doing these deals, people?
I'm wearing the DeAndre Swift shirt, Say No More, today, and I feel this strongly about this deal. Like, there are sometimes, especially when the deal is this simple, like, I can understand sometimes if you don't think 4D and you don't necessarily equate all the assets the same, and you get confused and you value names or whatever, you get kind of bullied on a big type of deal. This is so fucking straightforward and simple. There's nothing to be confused about here. What are we doing? This is Mike. This is where dynasty timing has people fucked up, man. I'm sorry. I can't hold back. Dameon Pierce, listen, okay, maybe you believe he's going to be the lead role in Houston and you are high. We're just throwing Noah Fant away. Like, what happened? Like, this guy he fell from graces and fell hard, Mike. I mean, my goodness, this is not close for me in any capacity. Noah Fant by a landslide.
Well, I mean, Adam, he did get traded and got a QB downgrade from Drew Lock to, Drew Lock.
So wait, he's going to get the same quarterback in the team that's going to be down again, and he's not going to have any target competition over there. DK's not at camp. He's probably not going to be there.
Might not be on the team. Lockett might get traded. It might be the Noah Fant show. That's it. Noah Fant and Dwayne Eskridge or Bo Melton.
There are very few deals where I am a little bit bothered in my soul. Like, this is, I'm glad that you didn't show me who the other manager is, because I need to have a word with said person. This is ridiculous. And I think sometimes, though, keeping it real, this is where I go back to just being active in the streets and seeing what's going on, whether you sent this or message with the manager or just are fielding offers. Sometimes something like this is going to come across your desk and you're going to be shocked. And this is a smash on the Noah Fant side. You may sit here and tell me that Noah Fant's not someone you're overly excited about, and I still don't care. Give me him over Pierce by a large margin.
I don't think you need to be excited to know if this is what the cost is. I think just about anybody can get excited for Noah Fant if this is all it cost you.
B-Hall 7, man. You know we love you. This is a smash-tastic deal. Wow.
Good job, brother. All right. Last trade, we're going to finish up with you, buddy. You just made this deal not too long ago.
Yeah.
Adam acquired Najee Harris, and he sent away Deshaun Watson. Another simple deal. What was your thinking behind this one? Because I saw this and shook my head. But Najee Harris, you picked up. You sent away Deshaun Watson, Mr. Fading Fast. Fading panic mode has engaged.
So there's a lot of thoughts I have on this. I think the panic on Watson is probably getting a little bit much.
Yes.
And I'm also, I don't think he's crazy. I'm not crazy exposed, but I probably had 5-6 shares of Watson. You know, got him a bunch of places, primarily on the rebuild side. This team has yet to pick a direction, but I'll say this. This deal here, to me, when I know that I have 6 shares of a guy, and I know that market is telling me that the one side is better, like there's pieces of me that even hesitated for a second, but just off of the merit of Najee Harris is a first-round startup pick, back end, early second, whatever, you know, in your league, however it goes. Like, he's a top 15 player in Dynasty, right? And even though I don't have like this stable of quarterbacks, that Watson's not my quarterback 4 or anything. Like, I'm gonna have to figure quarterback out. This team has Tua, Danny Dimes, and I forget a third quarterback that's mediocre, right? But on a value standpoint, Najee to me is safer, and he is currently going ahead of Watson. And to me, just on the value move, like, I'll 4D the rest of how I'm gonna maneuver this team. But when it comes down to just value, when this comes across the screen currently with all the uncertainty with Watson, like, I'm perfectly fine pivoting up, in my opinion, on value, and then figuring it out from there.
I don't think it's a hot take to say that if I was in a startup, I would take Najee before I would take Deshaun Watson.
No.
This is even a month ago, Adam. I would still do the same thing. Now fast forward a month and the market's starting to correct itself. He's starting to slip because of all the allegations that keep coming out and the news cycle. It's relentless. People piling on. I agree with you. Maybe it's gone a little bit too far, but we can agree, like, it's on a downward trend. Anybody can spot this. This is a deal that was just made a few hours ago.
Yeah, this was made. We are recording this on Wednesday, the 8th. You'll see this on Monday, you know, the 11th or whatever it will be. Understand, though, this deal is fresh. This is not anything past. This is based on the market today.
I don't know how you defend the other side, because I would take Najee over Deshaun Watson a month ago before the bad news, and I sure as hell would take him over him now with the bad news coming on. I agree, I'm not going to fade him as far as some people will, but he's still going to get faded to an extent. I don't understand the logic behind this one at all, because it just, from a market standpoint, it doesn't make sense. From a team building standpoint, it doesn't make sense. From a value standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And from a contender standpoint, it sure as hell don't make sense. I don't know what to do with it. Like, give me the Najee side all day, every day. I'd be interested to see if there's anybody out there who's still on Watson that much where they're like, yeah, I'd rather have him over Najee, other than Senate. I guess he's the one guy right now.
The gift that keeps on giving.
I'll be interested to see what the comments say about it, if there's anybody out there who could make a case for the Watson side on this one.
I fully agree with you, by the way. I think that everything to me basically says, like, that. I'm going to be honest. That's the reason I hesitated, Mike, was because I was so convinced, like, in my gut, in my mind, they all were aligned of, like, Najee's the play. And I don't get deals in my DMs so often that are just like, holy crap, smash before it's over. Like, I had to think for a second. But the only thing I can say is this, and I think this is kind of what the DMs and the league chat was saying after. Senate basically said, like, I want to rebuild. I think he's been trying to move Najee and had a hard time getting out of Najee for what he's worth. Even still, Mike, like, if I was wanting to rebuild, I can't do this pivot. Now, and I'll tell you why. Let's even say, regardless of what the suspension is, eventually at some point, Watson's going to get back to this first round value. Whenever that is, like, you're trading out a Najee who's valuable now for what you believe Watson will be if he is that at his peak. Like, how much higher does he ever get than 110 in startups ever again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As the years keep going on.
Yes. and let's even say in 3 seasons when this is all behind him and he's playing, he's 29. Like, is he the 106 again? Like, that I'm saying is the bet you're making has no upside, and you're giving up the value now.
Yeah, not a move I would recommend on a rebuild. On a rebuild, Adam, we're usually trying to get assets that are going to increase in value and go up in value. And this is kind of antithetical to it. As the trend keeps going, he's going down in value. Like, you had a nice little moment a couple months ago where he went up in value from the 3rd round to, back end first, early part of the 2nd. But that's slowly pissing away right now, and not something I want to invest in right now. Like, you're seeing the downward trend in the stock market. And like you said, who knows if it ever gets back to that point? Who knows if it ever gets back? So,
I think we talked about this on something we did recently where one of our patrons, made the move basically for Watson, and he just, all he sent away was Zach Wilson. Okay, you got my interest there, right? Zach Wilson, guys, is a late 5th, early 6th. Yeah. We're talking a totally different situation. This is a 1st round startup pick today, and he's young.
Yeah, I don't know how you defend it, but whatever. To each their own, man.
Comments. If we're wrong, I would love to hear it. Tell us, tweet us,
for sure.
YouTube, whatever. But here's the deal that went down.
It's gonna be a good discussion if we do. Like, I'd be ready for it. I'm kind of intrigued to see if somebody could make the point on the other side, because I don't see it. But that's it. We start with me, we finish with you. I like it. And we had a couple nice, simple 1-for-1 deals at the end. Not every deal's got to be 6 for 6, and we don't need 37,000 3rd-round picks inserted into them. But hey,
Mike, I'll say this, man. This trade show was awesome. Somehow, some way, again, we started with you looking like it's a fair deal. Everybody else was all fair deals, and now here it is. Oh, this guy's always trying to just swindle everybody. This came across my screen, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do this to me. I pressed the button. This isn't me trying to, do anything dirty. I just pressed the cut.
You guys keep that in mind if you're in leagues with me and Adam. I'm the fair one.
Don't you dare. Don't you.
I'm the fair one. I set up nice, reasonable deals that make sense for both sides. And you see what this man does to you. All right, so you know who to come to first.
Listen, this is 4D propaganda. Don't buy into this.
That's going to do it. We're going to bounce out of here. We appreciate you guys tapping in for another one. Love you. Peace.
Love it. Peace.
Bye.